on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today you can see behind me we have the 2022 updated Land Rover Discovery. Enjoy the video. Let's see what changes they made. Enjoy. Jaguar Land Rover of Calgary, Alberta, for letting us borrow this vehicle. If you're interested in this new 2022 Discovery or anything else on their lot, the link to their website is right below that like button. Right, so starting with underneath the hood, we have a 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine making 355 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. We all love that number. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic. Of course, we have all-wheel drive as well. This thing can tow a maximum of 8,200 pounds, which is incredible, and a 0 to 60 speed does it in a swift 6.5 seconds, which is not too bad for the size of this vehicle. All right, so starting off with the front end. Now it's kind of hard to see the changes that they have made directly in the front. It's very, very minorly revised. Obviously, whenever you're standing in front of it, you could really see the tall and narrow kind of look. And this is definitely a tall vehicle. It's as tall as I am. So that's one thing. If you like tall and narrow vehicles, you're gonna love this. We have blacked out front end features because of the aerodynamic package that we have, and personally I really like it compared to the non-blacked out versions. And of course the front end is capped out with those LED headlights. You do have an option of getting premium LED headlights, but those are an extra feature that you must pay for. Let's move on to the side. Starting off with the wheels, we do have two 85 series tires that have 22-inch rims. These are the upgraded wheels for almost an extra $3,000. So when you get the aerodynamic package and the S trim, they do not come with these wheels. It's just an extra feature, an extra option that you can get. Now, it's got a pretty nice side clean profile. Sort of kind of Range Rover-ish from that rear end, but not exactly, but also premium looking. So it's something that I think personally overall I really do enjoy. Now one weird area is that rear end of the side profile, the rear 3/4. It looks kind of odd at certain angles, but then from other angles it looks really nice. The only real reason it looks a little odd maybe is because it kind of just caps off sharply at the end. But other than that though, you know, the side profile is, especially with these bigger wheels, I think they fit this vehicle perfectly. Right, so moving on to the rear. We do get full LED tail lights. They look super nice. LED turn signals, brake lights, reverse. Now this is an update that they made. You can definitely see the new rear tail lights. I love the way they look. They are a beautiful design. We have that signature license plate to the left of the vehicle kind of look. Some people love it and some people hate it. So it really depends what your preference is. But the fans of this vehicle usually love it. It's kind of a, you know, a heritage thing, and I'm kind of glad they kept it. You know, it makes it stand out a little bit more. Now we do have a really boxy looking rear end. It is once again giving you that tall and narrow look from the rear as well, especially when you look at it directly from the rear like this. But like I said, this is really tall. The only thing is the Discovery badge on the back is gray instead of black. So I don't know why that is when the front badging is blacked out. But yeah, there's the exterior. Let's move on to the cargo since we're back here. All right, so when you open up this power tailgate, you're gonna have, of course, this is a 3-row vehicle initially. So if you have all 3 rows up, you're gonna have 9.1 cubic feet behind the 3rd row. Of course, you can always fold these babies down. Behind the 2nd row, you have 45 cubic feet. And if you want maximum space, you can fold down that 2nd row and you'll get 74.3 cubic feet behind the 1st row. Now this is kind of an in-between vehicle, in between the size of a midsize and a full-size. So it has more than a midsize, but less than a full-size SUV would. And of course, to the bottom left area of your tailgate and hatch area, you're gonna see all these switches. And these are basically your power folding seat switches, and to lower and raise the height for whenever you're unloading or loading things. So I love how you kind of have options, and the rear is you know, definitely usable. I'll show you how much space I have once I'm inside that 3rd row, but let's move on to the inside. It's time to jump into the 2022 Discovery and see what changes they made. I think it's the most important changes, even regarding to the exterior. The interior has some nice upgrades. So let me show you. Let's open this up and start off with the door panel. We do have a traditional kind of Land Rover door panel area. It reminds me of the Range Rover Sport a lot, especially the way this handle looks, and you have your window switches up top instead of down here. Kind of an older kind of theme to it. But I like this because it has nice switches over here and a nice flat area for your armrest, which is traditionally what a lot of Land Rover drivers usually do. Now moving on to the seats, they do seem unchanged. I know Discovery Sports have similar seats as well, just smaller obviously. They're really, really nice. They have a lot of adjustment capability, as you can see down over here. I love the white stitching, the little, I don't really know what to call this. I'll just call them rivets, and then the perforation of the leather. And this is nice and soft as well for your headrest. So definite, you know, improvements, I would say. It was pretty comfortable before, and it still is. So that is awesome. The material is very, very interesting. So you have this kind of nice rubberized kind of looking material. It kind of moves into the inside too. So let me step in here and show you. And that same material basically goes all the way across over here as well. And I think overall it has a pretty nice look. Now let me turn this vehicle on just so we could show you the features and upgrades here. Now starting off with the steering wheel. I love the way the steering wheel looks. It's an all brand new design. And it's full leather wrapped. It's nicely stitched as well. These are adaptive buttons. Of course, it's heated as well. And these all change whenever you, sorry about the beeping, boys. So these all change when you press the button. So right now I'm going to press this and you'll see that kind of changed over, right? So that's really cool. I love the volume knobs and the sliders here too. So nice airbag cover. The upper HSE trim also has this quilted as well, not quilted, sorry, stitched, and it makes it look much nicer too. I love the paddle shifters, full metal paddle shifters. They feel really nice in the hand. Some of my favorite as well, to be honest with you. And they are basically on every new Range Rover and Jaguar product, or Land Rover product, sorry. And so yeah, it's a good improvement. Now taking a look at the gauges, you have a great sharp high resolution display, very configurable. You can basically show whatever you want on it, the map, 1 dial, 2 dials, whatever you really want to. So or you can just have your discovery showing whenever you're driving, just so you're reminded what your car looks like. Now moving on to the infotainment. It's one of my favorite portions, to be honest with you. I love it. It's all new infotainment for the Discovery, new size, new software as well. I'm glad they don't have the old software on this thing. I believe it's probably the same one that the F-Pace has, but you know, that's a great thing for me because I really, really love it. You have things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard, navigation, a pretty high resolution camera. I really wish it kind of used the entire screen, though. It only uses half of that, as you can see, so that's one thing I would say. Other than that, though, it's really easy to use. It's snappy, and it just gives you plenty of option. It looks really, really nice, to be honest with you. It's a great screen, and I love the larger size of this thing. Now moving on to the HVAC controls. Now when you take a look at this thing, you have dials and knobs, which I like it. So hashtag save the knobs, you know I gotta say it. It's probably my least favorite area of the entire interior update, to be honest with you, just because of this area right here. The new F-Pace has this too. So the dials are great. You know, you can select your temperature with this. You could pull on it to basically control the fan speed, which is quick and easy access, so that's awesome too. Or you can push it to control your heated seats. Now this one doesn't have cooled seats. We don't have that option on this one, but higher trims do have that available. But the only thing I'm just not a fan of is just pushing this entire thing, because they're not individual buttons. You basically have to push the entire thing. So for example, if I push this AC button right here, you'll see the entire thing kind of moved, right? So then I have to press that again. You could basically see the entire thing move, and then this is for your seat if you want to turn the heated seat on in an extra bougie way for some reason. So you can press this, and then this will kind of come up, and you could, you know, go the extra step. I don't know why you would want to do that, but of course this has rear heated seats as well, but I'll show you the rear in a little bit. So this is my least favorite area, but it's usable, definitely not an issue. It's just I would prefer individual buttons or something different. Another cool little trick is when you press this button, it'll have a little secret compartment for you. So that's pretty cool. You could hide some stuff, whatever you want, your extra money that you're laundering around, because you're in a Land Rover, I guess you're supposed to have cash on you. Moving down to the lower portion, we have a center storage area right over here. You have your wireless charger right over here and a extra USB-C, which is nice. This is nice kind of soft material. Moving on to the lower portion, you have a nice volume knob. This is a nice matte material. I love the feeling. A shifter area. This is brand new as well. Feels good in the hand. I've seen it in other Land Rover products as well. So moving on to the lower portion, you're going to have your drive mode selector. So you could rotate this baby whenever you're going off-road, or you want to, you know, save some gas and go eco mode. And whenever you don't need this, you can have this push down if you want to keep it in one setting. You have a great large coverable cup holder area, huge space. Nice size cup holders, area for your phone. And this, I personally don't know what this is for, maybe business cards, I would say. Then when you want to move into the center console, nice stitching, same great feeling material as well. It's very nice and like soft. You have two tier basically. When you open this up, you'll also see another USB-A and a USB-C. So lots of connectivity in this vehicle, which I really like. A little coin tray over here. Then when you want to open it up again, you're going to see your little refrigerator here. So it's two-stage. You can press this button right here and it'll turn on. The light will come on to let you know that it's working. And you can keep your drinks, of course, non-alcoholic, cool whenever you're driving down to wherever you're going. So time to move on to the second row. I love the little Land Rover badge here. Usually it's like around this area, but I guess because of the shape, they never put that in there. So let's jump in. Now, the door panel area looks very similar to the front. A basic new addition that they made basically for the rear door, for safety reasons of course, is this little indicator right here. So this is going to let you know if anybody is basically coming through this direction and it's not safe to open the door. It'll basically light up, so it'll make sure that you kind of close in. Now the front seat is set where I would be driving if I was comfortable, so let me jump in. And first thing when I noticed when I did jump in is all the space that we have. So I'm nicely kind of reclined right now. Lots of leg room, knee room, headroom as well. I probably have, I would say, like a lot, to be honest, because of this extra sunroof in the back. It's kind of separated. It's not a panel roof, but it's not a standard size either. So lots of headroom as well. And I'm also reclined, so I love that. Now, your center console area, you have a couple vents right here. Your HVAC controls basically, and also heated seats. So that's nice as well. Now below that, you have two USB-Cs, one USB-A, and also a 12 volt down there. So lots of connectivity. Your passengers are going to be happy with being able to keep their devices charged up. So that's awesome. Now looking at these seats, they're basically similar to the front. We have nice, great white stitching, the little rivets, perforations. I really wish this had cool seats for close to $100,000, but we don't have them here. Little fold down armrest here with a couple cup holders. So nice and squishy. So it feels really, really, really nice. Now, I really don't have a whole lot to say. We do have kind of a power recline function for the rear seats. So this will move your seats kind of in recline settings at least. And then a mechanical area for moving them back and forth. So we're all the way back right now. But overall, it's just super comfy, to be honest with you. And I'm 6'1". I forgot to mention that, sorry. So if you're new to this video or just this channel, so hopefully that helps you get a good idea of how much space I really, really have. And so I'm comfortable over there and I'm comfortable over here too. So easily drive around 4 adults if you needed to. So time to jump into the third row. Now, yes, it does have a third row. Just looking at it from this way, it doesn't look like it's going to be roomy, but let's check it out. So you're wondering how you get into the third row? You basically press this button right here. Both sides have this as well. So you press this arrow to kind of bring it forward and the seat will automatically recline. And then you got to slide it over manually. Now, if you're wondering what these two buttons are over here, they're on both sides as well. They basically fold down these seats whenever you need them to, and stand them back up. So you have power folding options from the second row and the cargo area. Now, you don't have a whole lot of room to basically, you know, jump into the third row. So I would assume most people probably are going to have the third row down. But let me kind of jump in here. Ooh, all right. So, okay, here I am, you know, chilling in the third row. I don't really have an armrest or anything unless I want to, you know, bend down like that. So nothing really going on.
Dude. Wait till you see the
on in that sense. And yeah, you know, that's kind of it. The seats are pretty soft, a little bit on the harder side, I would say, but you have a little kind of a cup holder area and some storage here. So let me try to bring this seat back and then have normal reclining features. Oh, my knees. Okay, so all right, you know, it's not too bad. So the seat's fully reclined back now, as it I was in this normal position. So now I'm basically pushed up against the second row or the third row seats, and like my knees are rubbing, but it's not like I'm like cramped to like where I'm uncomfortable. So it is good, it is workable. Smaller kids, they'll definitely like it back here. So yeah, other than that, we only have one last thing to do now, and that's to go for a drive. So let's start. Okay, so we are in the driver's seat getting ready to drive. This isn't really you know, a performance oriented vehicle. It doesn't even have a dynamic mode like the other Jaguar Land Rover products have. So I'm gonna keep it in comfort. I'm gonna put it in sport shifting kind of transmission, you know, the D and the S. So let's do a little acceleration test. It can still get to, you know, from 0 to 60 in a pretty reasonable time. So, you know, it's not bad at all. All right, is everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So, I mean, definitely not bad at all, to be honest with you. But that's not what this thing is made for. So, you know, the people that, you know, drive this aren't really going to care about that kind of stuff. Still respectable though. You can definitely merge whenever you need to. So, not an issue in that sense. Now, first thing I noticed immediately when I first stepped into this vehicle was how tall it is. You know, I mentioned it's tall and narrow, and when you stand beside it, it's very, very tall in general in that sense too. But, you know, driving it, it's very, very comfortable. You feel very high off the ground. You're larger than a lot of other SUVs, and even some, like, you know, the 1 Series trucks as well. So that's a great thing if that's what you like. It's a great kind of comfortable feeling. The road noise from the outside is very minimal. When I was driving on the highway, you could barely hear anything kind of come in. And it should be that way, you know, so we should expect that, definitely. And the seats are comfortable. The vehicle itself, it drives very comfortably. The steering, it's responsive, but you don't feel too much of it whenever you're making turns, or you don't feel the road that much. But this is kind of meant to be your family hauler, family road trip vehicle, or, you know, you have a lot of friends that you want to, you know, hang out with, travel with. And it also does have great off-road capabilities as well, you know, so that's one thing. So and it allows almost a full set of adults sitting there in the back there with you too, so all, you know, 7 people. So aside from that, you know, the pricing, it does get a little bit high, especially for, you know, when you want to get the options that you would like to have. So you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money on it, obviously, not a lot of it. To you, it's a little bit. To me, it's a lot. But overall, though, the driving dynamics, like, people that know what this is look at it, but people that don't know what it is, you know, they don't really care too much about it. Like, oh, it's just, you know, another Land Rover. But yeah, so the people that like it, they're definitely going to be looking and staring. Now, one thing I would say is, if you have the headrest all the way up like I do back over there, it does get a little bit difficult to see through your rear view mirror, so that could be one thing. Blind spots are another thing, so you do have the blind spot information display, which is awesome. So your driver's side, pretty good. But when you're looking at the passenger side, it gets pretty rough, to be honest with you. Okay, so there's no more cars coming down, so when I look over here, that area right there gets very kind of, you know, it's pretty thick, especially the D-pillar. It's angled and it's wide, so it's pretty tough to see your passenger blind spot, you know, but your mirrors with the blind spot information display would help you out quite a bit, you know, so make sure you get that option if it's not standard. But you know, other than that, like, it's not too bad on gas. I believe the only engine options you have is the base 4-cylinder, or you can get the 6. Now, I would highly recommend the 6, because even the 6 feels a little bit on the slower side. But, you know, like, you know, the 4-cylinder will do, you know, what you have, you know, to get done. But I would really encourage the 6-cylinder, just because the power, I think, is more appropriate for the vehicle size, and especially for the vehicle size. You want something that's pretty powerful and able to lug around this thing, especially when you're towing. Obviously, the 4-cylinder towing numbers, I believe they're probably less, assuming so it should be. But yeah, so, you know, you can tow a lot of things with this as well. And that kind of wraps up my driving dynamics. I think it's very comfortable. It's very, you know, like, there's like the pillows on the back of the headrest are pretty soft too. And yeah, you know, option it out the way you want to, and I'm sure you'll love it. So there's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. You know what to do if you did. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.